Tyler Brooks wiped the grease from his hands as he walked through the lower maintenance deck of Refuge Station. His cargo ship needed repairs, and the parts up in the commercial sector cost 3 times what they should. Down here in the forgotten levels, among the rust and broken machinery, he could usually find what he needed for cheap. The air smelled like oil and recycled waste. Dim lights flickered overhead. Most people avoided this area. Tyler didn't mind. He had grown up in places like this, back when his family scraped by on the edge of civilized space. He turned a corner near the waste processing area and stopped. A small sound reached his ears. Crying. Quiet and scared, like someone trying hard not to be heard. Tyler moved slowly toward the sound. Behind a stack of broken containers he saw them. 2 small figures huddled together in the shadows. They were covered in dirt and grime. Their bodies were thin, too thin. Large eyes stared at him with terror. They were aliens. Tyler recognized the species after a moment. Thennari. Small beings covered in soft fur that should have been clean and bright. These 2 looked like they had been living in filth for weeks. Their fur was matted and dark with dirt. They wore only torn scraps of cloth that barely covered them. The older one, maybe 12 in human years, pulled the younger one closer. She made a small hissing sound, trying to look threatening. But her arms shook. Tyler could see every rib on both of them. Easy, Tyler said softly. He crouched down, making himself smaller. I'm not going to hurt you. The girls didn't move. The younger one buried her face against her sister's shoulder. Tyler slowly reached into his pack. The older girl tensed, ready to run. But Tyler just pulled out a protein bar and a water bottle. He set them on the ground and pushed them forward gently. You hungry? He asked. The older girl stared at the food. Her eyes were so big and desperate. She looked at Tyler, then at the food, then back at Tyler. She was trying to decide if this was a trap. Tyler sat down on the dirty floor several feet away. He pulled out another protein bar for himself and took a bite. See? Just food. You can have it. The younger girl whimpered. The older one reached out slowly, grabbed the water bottle and pulled it back. She opened it and sniffed it carefully. Then she gave a small sip to her sister first. The little one drank like she had never tasted anything so wonderful. While they drank and ate, Tyler tried to talk to them. Do you understand me? Standard language? The older girl nodded slightly. Little bit, she whispered. Her voice was rough and scared. What are your names? The older girl hesitated. Mira. Sister is Senna. I'm Tyler. What happened to you two? Mira's eyes filled with tears. She looked down at Senna and spoke in halting standard. Raiders. They came to colony ship. Fire. Screaming. Parents put us in escape pod. Tell us hide. Tell us wait for help. How long ago? Many weeks. Pod crashed here. No one came. We hide. Security say we are problem. Say they will throw us out into space tomorrow. Tyler felt something cold settle in his stomach. He had heard about the raid on a Thennari colony ship. 3 months ago. These girls had been surviving alone for 3 months. And station security was going to space them like garbage. He looked at these 2 small beings. Starving. Terrified. Alone. They were just children. Someone's daughters. Someone who had died trying to save them. Tyler made a decision that surprised even himself. He stood up slowly. Both girls flinched. Wait here, he said. I'll be right back. He walked quickly to a supply terminal and bought everything he could think of. Nutrient packs. Water. Thermal blankets. Medical supplies. He didn't care about the cost. He just kept scanning items and stuffing them into bags. When he returned, the girls were exactly where he left them. They had finished the food and were watching the corridor, ready to run if security came. Tyler set the bags down. He pulled out a thermal blanket and held it out. For you. To keep warm. Mira took it carefully. She wrapped it around Senna first, then herself. They huddled together under it. Listen, Tyler said. I have a ship. It's not fancy, but it's clean and safe. It has food and water and beds. You can't stay here. They'll kill you tomorrow. Mira stared at him. Why you help us? You don't know us. Tyler thought about that. Why was he helping? He didn't know these girls. Taking them would mean complications. Legal problems. Maybe even criminal charges for harboring refugees without proper documentation. His life was simple. He hauled cargo. He kept to himself. He didn't get involved. But he looked at Senna's face, so small and scared, and he couldn't walk away. Because it's the right thing to do, he said simply. Because you need help and I can help. That's enough. Mira's eyes filled with tears again. You take us? Really? Both of you, Tyler said. He extended his hand. Come home. The girls looked at each other. Some silent conversation passed between them. Then Mira slowly reached out and took Tyler's hand. Her small fingers were cold and thin. Senna grabbed onto Mira's other hand. Tyler helped them stand. They were unsteady on their feet, weak from hunger. He picked up his bags with one hand and kept hold of Mira with the other. Stay close to me. Walk casual. We're just going to my ship. They moved through the corridors slowly. Tyler kept his body between the girls and anyone they passed. Most people didn't even look. The lower decks were full of desperate beings trying to survive. 2 more dirty aliens didn't draw attention. His ship was docked in the cheap section. The Wanderer was an old cargo hauler, built for function not comfort. But it was his and it was safe. He led the girls up the ramp and sealed the door behind them. Inside, the girls looked around with wonder. To Tyler, it was just a basic ship. To them, it must have looked like luxury after months of hiding in waste areas. Come on, Tyler said gently. Let's get you cleaned up and fed properly. He showed them to the small passenger cabin. It had 2 bunks and a tiny bathroom. The girls stood in the middle of the room, still clutching the thermal blanket, looking lost. Tyler realized he had no idea what he was doing. He was a cargo hauler, not a parent. He didn't know how to care for traumatized alien children. He didn't know what they needed or how to help them. But as Senna looked up at him with those huge, hopeful eyes, Tyler knew one thing for certain. He had made them a promise. Both of you come home. And he would figure out the rest as he went. You're safe now, he told them softly. I promise. You're safe. Tyler stood outside the passenger cabin door, holding a bundle of his spare clothes. He knocked gently. Mira? Senna? I have some clothes for you. They'll be too big, but they're clean. The door opened just a crack. Mira's large eyes peeked through. Tyler held out the bundle and she took it quickly, then shut the door again. He heard whispered conversation in their native language. A few minutes later, Mira opened the door wider. Both girls wore Tyler's old shirts like dresses. The fabric hung down past their knees. The sleeves covered their hands completely. They looked tiny and lost in the oversized clothing, but at least they were covered and warm. Better? Tyler asked with a small smile. Mira nodded. Senna hid behind her sister, peeking out with curious eyes. Are you hungry? I can make food. At the word food, both girls perked up. Tyler led them to the small galley. He pulled out protein packs and heated them in the synthesizer. The girls ate slowly at first, then faster, like they couldn't believe the food was real and wouldn't disappear. Tyler watched them eat and felt his chest tighten. How long had they been starving? He pulled up his communication panel and sent a message to his sister Hannah back on Earth. She worked with refugee families. If anyone knew what to do, it would be her. The response came an hour later. Hannah's face appeared on the screen, worried and shocked. Tyler, are you serious? You just took 2 alien children onto your ship. What was I supposed to do? Leave them to die? Hannah sighed, but her expression softened. No, you did the right thing. But this is complicated. Do you know anything about Thennari biology? No. That's why I called you. For the next hour, Hannah walked Tyler through everything. Thennari had different nutritional needs than humans. They needed certain minerals that human food didn't have. They were sensitive to loud noises and bright lights. They communicated partly through scent, which Tyler's human nose couldn't detect. Their fur needed special care or it would mat and cause skin problems. Tyler wrote everything down. He felt overwhelmed, but Hannah's voice was calm and steady. You can do this, Tyler. One step at a time. First, let's fix their diet. Tyler spent the next 2 days reprogramming his food synthesizer. He found supplements at the station that had the minerals Thennari needed. He tested each meal carefully, watching to make sure the girls could eat it safely. Mira tried everything first, protecting her little sister. Gradually, Tyler saw color return to their fur. They stopped looking so skeletal. The girls mostly stayed in their cabin those first few days. They were scared of every sound. When Tyler's ship engines rumbled to life, both of them screamed and hid under the bunks. Tyler had to sit on the floor outside their door, talking softly, explaining that it was just the ship moving. It was safe. They were safe. Slowly they began to venture out more. Mira would sit in the galley while Tyler ate breakfast. She didn't talk much, but she watched everything he did. Senna stayed in the doorway, ready to run but listening. Tyler started teaching them standard and simple ways. He would point at objects and say their names. Table, chair, cup, water. The girls repeated the words in their soft, musical voices. Mira picked it up quickly. Senna just watched and listened. At night, Tyler heard them crying through the walls. Soft, heartbroken sounds. He wanted to comfort them, but he didn't know how. They had lost everything. Their parents. Their home. Their entire world. How could he fix that? One morning, Tyler found Mira in the cargo hold. She had discovered his art supplies, things he used to mark containers. She had drawn on a piece of scrap paper with a marker. The drawing showed two adult Thennari with kind faces. Her parents, Tyler realized. They were beautiful, Tyler said softly. Mira looked up at him with wet eyes. They save us. Push us in pod. Say they come find us. But they never come. I'm sorry, Tyler said. He sat down next to her. I'm so sorry that happened to you. You're not our father, Mira said, her voice small. But you are kind. Why? Tyler thought about how to explain. Because everyone deserves kindness. Because you're just kids and you need help. Because it's the right thing to do. Mira wiped her eyes. Other humans at station, they walk past us. They see us. They don't stop. You stop. Why you different? I don't know if I'm different, Tyler admitted. Maybe I just remember what it's like to be scared and alone. When I was young, my family had nothing. People helped us. So now I help when I can. That seemed to make sense to Mira. She went back to drawing. Tyler sat with her, not talking, just being present. The next day, he showed the drawing to Hannah over the comm. She's processing her trauma, Hannah explained. Let her draw. Let her talk about her parents if she wants. Don't try to make her forget. Memory is important. Tyler started keeping all of Myra's drawings. He put them up in the galley. Pictures of her old home. Her parents. Her life before. Mira saw them on the wall and something in her face relaxed. Like Tyler was telling her it was okay to remember. Okay to grieve. Word spread at the trading stations. Other haulers noticed Tyler traveling with two small aliens. Some offered advice. A Centauri trader gave him a special brush for Thennari fur. A human woman who worked medical sold him child-safe medicine at cost. But others warned him he'd get in trouble. Taking in refugees without proper paperwork was illegal. Tyler didn't care about the paperwork. He cared about the two girls who flinched at sudden movements. Who ate like every meal might be their last. Who had nightmares every night. 3 weeks passed. Tyler established a routine. Breakfast together in the galley. Standard lessons using pictures and simple words. Mira helping him in the cargo hold, learning about the ship. Senna always watching from a safe distance, never speaking but always listening. Tyler worried about Senna. She hadn't spoken a single word since coming aboard. Mira did all the talking for both of them. Hannah said it was normal for traumatized children to go silent, but Tyler wondered if Senna would ever feel safe enough to use her voice. One evening, Tyler was cleaning up after dinner. Mira was in their cabin. Tyler thought Senna was with her sister, but when he turned around, the small girl was standing right behind him. He nearly jumped. Senna, you startled me. She looked up at him with those huge eyes. She held something in her small hands. One of the protein bars from that first day. The wrapper was crumpled and old. She had kept it this whole time. Tyler crouched down to her level. What is it, sweetie? Senna's mouth opened. She struggled with the words. Tyler waited patiently, his heart pounding. She took a shaky breath. Thank you, she whispered. Her voice was so quiet he almost missed it. Thank you for saving us. Tyler felt tears burn his eyes. He blinked them back. You're welcome, Senna. You're so welcome. She stepped forward and wrapped her small arms around his neck. Tyler carefully hugged her back, feeling her tiny body shake with silent sobs. All the fear and pain she had been holding inside came pouring out. Tyler just held her and let her cry. When she finally pulled back, she looked at him seriously. You keep us safe? Yes, Tyler promised. I'll keep you safe. Senna nodded. Then she ran back to the cabin. But she had spoken. She had reached out. It was a beginning. Tyler was checking the ship's navigation when the priority message came through. The communication panel beeped with an official tone that made his stomach tighten. He opened the message and saw the seal of Thennari Refugee Services. Captain Tyler Brooks, you are hereby notified that 2 Thennari minors, Mira and Senna, have been registered in your care without proper authorization. Counselor Thane will contact you within the hour to discuss immediate transfer of custody. Failure to comply will result in legal action. Tyler read the message 3 times. His hands started to shake. Someone had reported him. Someone at one of the stations must have seen the girls and contacted Thennari authorities. The comm panel beeped again. A video call. Tyler accepted it and a stern Thennari face appeared on screen. The alien was older, with silver streaks in his fur. His eyes were cold and official. Captain Brooks. I am Counselor Thane. We need to discuss the 2 children you are harboring. I'm not harboring them, Tyler said, trying to keep his voice steady. I'm taking care of them. They had nowhere to go. That is not your decision to make, Thane said sharply. You are human. You cannot possibly understand Thennari biology, culture, or developmental needs. These children belong with their own kind. Their own kind left them to die in a waste processing area, Tyler shot back. I'm the one who fed them, cleaned them, made sure they survived. Your intentions may be good, but you are not qualified. The girls must be transferred to a Thennari refugee collective where they can be properly cared for and maintain their cultural identity. Tyler felt anger rising in his chest. A collective? You mean one of those overcrowded camps where kids sleep 20 to a room? Thane's expression hardened. Our facilities provide everything Thennari children need. Food, shelter, education in their own language, connection to their heritage. What can you provide? Human food that makes them sick? Isolation from their culture? A life without their own people? I've learned about their dietary needs, Tyler argued. I've been teaching them standards so they can communicate. I've been keeping them safe. For 3 weeks, Thane said dismissively. What happens in 3 months? 3 years? Will you teach them traditional Thennari customs? Their religious practices? Their history? Can you even pronounce their native language? Tyler opened his mouth and closed it again. He couldn't argue with that. He didn't know Thennari culture. He was making it up as he went. The law is clear, Thane continued. Interspecies guardianship requires extensive documentation, cultural education plans, and regular oversight. You have none of this. I am being generous by offering a peaceful transfer. Refuse, and I will have Federation security remove the children by force. When? Tyler asked quietly. I will arrive at your location in 10 days to collect them. Prepare the children for transfer. This conversation is over. The screen went blank. Tyler sat staring at it, his mind racing. 10 days. He had 10 days before they took Mira and Senna away. He heard a small gasp behind him. Tyler turned and saw both girls standing in the doorway. Mira's face was white under her fur. Senna was clutching her sister's hand so hard her knuckles showed. You send us away? Mira whispered. To collective? No, Tyler said quickly. I'm not. We hear him. Mira's voice rose in panic. He say take us. Put us in camp with many children. No family. No home. Senna started crying. Mira pulled her close, backing toward their cabin. Please, Tyler. Please don't send us. We be good. We be quiet. We not cause trouble. Girls, stop, Tyler said, standing up. I'm not sending you anywhere. I'm going to fight this. How? Mira demanded. Tears ran down her face. He is official. He is our people. You are just one human. How you fight? Tyler didn't have an answer. But he couldn't let them see his fear. I'll find a way. I promise. That night, the girls wouldn't come out of their cabin. Tyler heard them whispering in their native language, crying. He sat outside their door, feeling helpless. He called Hannah again. She listened to everything, her face growing more serious. Tyler, this is bad. Interspecies custody is extremely complicated. The law usually favors placing children with their own species. There has to be something I can do. You need a lawyer. A good one who specializes in family rights and Federation law. Hannah paused. I know someone. Advocate Cass. She's Centauri, works out of the hub. She's expensive, but she's won cases like this before. Set up a meeting. I don't care what it costs. 2 days later, Tyler met with Advocate Kess over videocom. She was a tall Centauri with 4 arms and sharp, intelligent eyes. She listened to Tyler's story without interrupting. Counselor Thane is not wrong about the law, she said when he finished. But he is not entirely right either. The law favors cultural placement, yes. But it also prioritizes the best interest of the child. We need to prove that staying with you is better for Mira and Senna than going to the collective. How do I prove that? Documentation. Evidence. We need to show that you are providing adequate care. That the girls are healthy, learning, and bonding with you. That separating them from you now would cause psychological harm. Kess's eyes narrowed. We also need to show that the collective is not adequate. Do you know anything about the conditions there? Only what I've heard. Overcrowded. Underfunded. I will research it. Meanwhile, you need to document everything. Every meal. Every lesson. The girls' health improvements. Any signs of attachment and bonding. Keep a daily log. Take photos. Record conversations if the girls consent. We need to build a case that you are not just adequate, but that you are actually providing better care than the collective could. Tyler felt overwhelmed. I'm just a cargo hauler. I don't know how to do all this. Then learn, Kes said firmly. You have 10 days until the hearing. Use them. Show that these girls are not just refugees you picked up. Show that you are becoming a family. For the next week, Tyler worked harder than he ever had. He kept detailed logs of everything. He recorded the girls' improving health with medical scans. He filmed Mira helping him in the cargo bay learning about ship systems. He captured Senna slowly coming out of her shell, speaking more each day. Mira understood what was happening. She helped Tyler document everything. She drew pictures of her life before and her life now. The difference was obvious. Before, dark, scared, hungry. Now safe, fed, learning. Hannah sent educational materials about Thennari culture. Tyler studied late into the night, learning basic phrases in their language, understanding their customs and traditions. He couldn't become Thennari, but he could show respect for their heritage. He also connected with Thennari community groups through the network. He found teachers willing to do video lessons with the girls. He found cultural experts who could advise him. He built a network of support. One evening, 5 days before the hearing, Mira found Tyler surrounded by papers and recordings. He looked exhausted. Tyler, she said softly, why you do all this? It's too much work. Maybe easier to let us go. Tyler looked at her, surprised. Do you want to go? No. Both girls said it at the same time. Senna ran over and grabbed Tyler's hand. Then I fight, Tyler said simply. Because you're not just refugees. You're not just children I found. You're Mira and Senna. And you belong here. With me. Myra's eyes filled with tears. She had been trying to be strong, but hearing Tyler say that broke through her defenses. You really want us? Forever? Forever, Tyler promised. We're a family now. And families don't give up on each other. Senna climbed into his lap and Mira sat beside him. They looked at all the documentation together. All the proof of 3 weeks that had changed everything. We go to hearing, Mira said, her voice determined. We tell them we stay with you. Tyler hugged them both close. 10 days had become 5. The fight was just beginning. But looking at these 2 brave girls who had survived so much, Tyler knew one thing for certain. He would not let them down. The Federation Outpost Gamma 7 hearing room was bigger than Tyler expected. Cold white walls surrounded rows of seats. At the front sat a raised platform where the magistrate would decide the girls' fate. Tyler's hands were sweating as he walked in with Mira and Senna. The girls wore the nicest clothes Tyler could find for them. Simple dresses that actually fit, bought at the last station. Mira held Senna's hand tightly. Both of them stared at the room with wide, frightened eyes. Advocate Kes met them at the door. Her 4 arms carried multiple data pads filled with evidence. Remember what we discussed, she said quietly to Tyler. Stay calm. Answer honestly. Let me handle the legal arguments. Counselor Thane was already seated on the other side of the room. He had brought 3 other Thennari with him, all wearing official robes. They looked at Tyler with cold disapproval. To them he was just a human who didn't understand their ways. The magistrate entered. She was Bravak, a species known for fairness and careful judgment. Her scaled face showed no emotion as she settled into her seat. We are here to determine the custody of 2 Thennari minors, Mira and Senna. Counselor Thane, you may present your case. Thane stood. His voice was strong and confident. Thank you, magistrate. This case is simple. 2 Thennari children are currently in the care of a human who has no training, no understanding of our culture, and no legal right to guardianship. Captain Brooks found these girls 3 weeks ago and took them without contacting proper authorities. While his intentions may have been kind, kindness is not enough to raise children. Thane activated a holographic display. Statistics appeared in the air. These numbers show the failure rate of interspecies adoptions. 73% fail within the first year. Children become isolated from their culture. They lose their language, their traditions, their identity. They become strangers to their own people. He turned to look at Tyler. Captain Brooks is a cargo hauler. He travels alone in space. How can he provide these girls with connection to other Thennari? How can he teach them our history, our customs, our spiritual practices? He cannot even speak our language. Thane gestured to his companions. The Thennari Refugee Collective has trained caregivers. Children live with others of their kind. They learn in their native language. They maintain their cultural identity. Yes, resources are limited. Yes, the facilities are crowded. But they are Thennari facilities run by Thennari for Thennari children. The magistrate listened carefully. What is the current capacity of this collective? Thane hesitated. We currently house 212 children with 11 caregivers. That is nearly 20 children per caregiver, the magistrate observed. We manage as best we can with available resources, Thane said defensively. But even with limited resources, we provide what Captain Brooks cannot. Cultural continuity. Ethnic identity. A future where these children know who they are. The magistrate turned to Tyler. Captain Brooks, you may respond. Tyler stood up. His legs felt shaky. Advocate Kess had prepared him, but standing in front of the magistrate made everything feel more real. I'm not going to pretend I know everything about Thennari culture. I don't. But I've been learning. I've been trying every single day to give Mira and Senna what they need. He activated his own data pad. Medical scans appeared. This is Mira and Senna when I found them. Malnourished. Dehydrated. Covered in infections from living in waste areas. This is them now. Healthy. Growing. All their medical markers are normal. More images appeared. I researched Thennari dietary needs. I modified my food synthesizer. I buy supplements at every station to make sure they get proper nutrition. Here are the lesson plans I've been using to teach them standard. Here are the cultural education videos I found from Thennari teachers who agreed to work with us remotely. Tyler's voice grew stronger. I've connected with 3 different Thennari cultural groups through the network. Teachers do video calls with the girls twice a week. They're learning traditional songs and stories. I'm learning their language. I practice with them every night. He showed recordings of the girls laughing during lessons, helping in the cargo bay, drawing pictures. Are they isolated? No. Are they losing their identity? No. They know exactly who they are. They're Thennari girls who survived something terrible. And now they're healing. Counselor Thane stood up. Recordings can be staged. Numbers can be manipulated. The question is not what Captain Brooks has done for 3 weeks. The question is what happens in 3 years? 5 years? When these girls become teenagers and need guidance from adults who understand their culture, their biology, their social development. A human cannot provide that. Then let them speak, Advocate Kess said. Let the girls tell the magistrate what they want. The magistrate nodded. Mira, Senna, please come forward. Both girls walked to the front. Senna clutched a small bag. Mira stood straight, trying to look brave even though her hands trembled. Mira, the magistrate said gently. You are old enough to understand what is happening. Do you want to stay with Captain Brooks or go to the collective? Mira's voice was quiet but clear. I want to stay with Tyler. Why? Mira pulled out her drawings from the bag. She spread them on the table in front of the magistrate. This is before. When we hide in station. We are scared. Hungry. We think we die. Nobody help. Many people walk past. They see us. They don't stop. She pointed to another drawing. Tyler stop. He give food. He say, come home. He don't know us. He don't have to help. But he help anyway. She pulled out more drawings. This is Tyler teaching me ship systems. This is Tyler learning Thennari words so he can talk to us. This is Tyler staying up all night when Senna has bad dreams. This is family. Tears ran down Myra's face but she kept talking. Counselor Thane say collective has our people. But our people left us in waste area. Security was Thennari. They say throw us in space. The only person who save us was human. Thane started to object but the magistrate raised her hand for silence. Senna stepped forward. She was still so small, so shy. But she reached into the bag and pulled out something. A bracelet made from spare ship parts. Wires and bits of metal woven together carefully. Tyler helped me make this, Senna said in her soft voice. He say it okay to be sad about Mama and Papa. He say it okay to remember them. He say they always in my heart. She looked up at the magistrate with wet eyes. Tyler don't try to replace them. He just try to help us not hurt so much. She walked over to Tyler and climbed into his lap. Tyler is family now. Please don't take us away. The magistrate was quiet for a long moment. She looked at all the evidence. The medical scans. The drawings. The cultural education plans. She looked at Thane and his statistics. She looked at Tyler and the 2 girls holding on to him like he was their whole world. This is a difficult decision, she said finally. Counselor Thane's concerns about cultural preservation are valid. Captain Brooks's lack of training is concerning. However, the law requires me to consider the best interest of the children above all else. She looked at Mira and Senna. These children have experienced severe trauma. They have lost their parents, their home, their entire world. They have formed a strong attachment to Captain Brooks. Separating them now could cause additional psychological harm. Thane started to speak, but the magistrate continued. However, I also recognize that cultural education is essential. Therefore, I am granting Captain Brooks provisional custody for 6 months. Tyler felt his heart jump. 6 months. Not forever, but a chance. During this time, the magistrate continued, Captain Brooks must demonstrate continued adequate care. He must maintain regular video sessions with Thennari cultural educators. He must document the girls' progress in learning their native language and traditions. He must ensure they have regular contact with other Thennari communities. She looked at Tyler seriously. In 6 months we will review this case. If you have fulfilled these requirements, custody will be made permanent. If not, the girls will be transferred to the collective. Do you understand? Yes, magistrate, Tyler said. I understand. I'll do everything required. I promise. Then this hearing is concluded. Tyler couldn't breathe for a moment. Then Mira and Senna were hugging him, crying with relief. Advocate Kess smiled for the first time. They had won. Not completely, not permanently, but for now they had won. Counselor Thane approached as they were leaving. Tyler tensed, expecting more arguments. But Thane's expression had softened slightly. I was harsh, Thane said quietly. But understand, I have seen too many orphans fall through the cracks. Too many children lost between worlds, belonging nowhere. I won't let that happen to them, Tyler said. Thane studied him for a moment. Then he pulled out a data chip. Contact information for the best Thennari cultural teachers in this sector. Resources for traditional education. Use them. Tyler took the chip, surprised. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Prove me wrong, Captain Brooks. Prove that a human can raise Thennari children without them losing who they are. Thane looked at the girls. They deserve that much. As they walked back to the ship, Mira held Tyler's hand. You did it. You really did it. We did it, Tyler corrected. All of us together. Senna tugged on his sleeve. We go home now? Tyler smiled. Yes, sweetie. We go home. 3 months had passed since the hearing. Tyler's ship looked completely different now. The bare metal walls of the galley were covered with drawings. Mira's artwork showed their journey from darkness to light. Colorful fabric hangings decorated the corridors, traditional Thennari patterns that the girls had learned to weave during their cultural lessons. The passenger cabin had been transformed into a real bedroom. 2 bunks with soft blankets. A shelf full of books in both standard and Thennari. Toys and learning materials scattered around. It looked like children actually lived there. Because they did. Tyler stood in the galley preparing dinner. He had gotten good at making Thennari food now. The right nutrients, the right textures, the right temperatures. He could even make some traditional dishes he had learned from the video tutors. Tyler. Mira called from the cargo bay. Come see. Senna fixed the secondary power coupling all by herself. Tyler walked back to find Senna covered in grease, grinning proudly. The small girl had discovered she loved working with machinery. Her tiny hands could reach places Tyler's couldn't. She had a natural talent for understanding how systems work together. Good job, Senna, Tyler said, ruffling the fur on her head. But next time, ask before you take apart ship components, okay? Senna giggled. Okay. I just want to help. You do help. Every day. Tyler checked her work. It was perfect. Now go wash up. Dinner is almost ready. The girls ran off, chattering in Thennari. They switched between languages easily now. Standard when talking to Tyler or other species. Thennari when talking to each other or during their cultural lessons. They were becoming bilingual, bicultural. Belonging to both worlds. During dinner, Mira talked excitedly about her lesson that morning. A Thennari elder named Teacher Vess had taught them about the Festival of Stars, a traditional celebration. Can we do the festival, Tyler? Teacher Vess showed us the decorations and the songs. It looks fun. When is it? Tyler asked. 2 weeks. We need special flowers and candles. And we make traditional food. Tyler pulled up his navigation charts. We can stop at Talon Station. They have a Thennari community there. We can get everything we need and you can celebrate with other Thennari families. Senna's eyes went wide. Really? We meet other Thennari children? Of course. That's part of the agreement, remember? You need to stay connected to your culture and your people. Over the past 3 months, Tyler had kept every promise he made at the hearing. The girls had video lessons with Thennari teachers 3 times a week. They learned history, language, traditional arts, and customs. They practiced writing in Thennari script. They memorized ancient poems and songs. But they also learned human things. They watched Earth movies with Tyler. They celebrated human holidays. They learned about Earth history and culture. Tyler taught them to cook simple human food. They played human games and listened to human music. The ship's route had changed too. Tyler no longer took the fastest, most profitable routes. He planned his cargo runs to pass through stations with Thennari communities. The girls had made friends in 3 different systems now. Other Thennari children they could talk to and play with. Hannah had visited twice, bringing gifts and helping Tyler navigate the complicated parts of raising children. She had officially become Aunt Hannah, and the girls adored her. One evening, Tyler was in his cabin updating his logs for the 6-month review. He documented everything carefully. Medical checkups showing the girls were healthy and growing normally. Report cards from their teachers praising their progress. Videos of them speaking fluent Thennari and participating in cultural activities. Photos of them with other Thennari families at various stations. He also included the unexpected things. Senna's mechanical aptitude and her help maintaining the ship. Mira's artistic talent and the beautiful traditional weaving she had created. Both girls growing confidence and happiness. Their nightmares had decreased. They laughed more. They felt safe. A message notification appeared on his screen. From Counselor Thane. Tyler tensed, then opened it. Captain Brooks. I have been reviewing your progress reports. The girls' cultural education is exemplary. Their language skills are developing well. I have spoken with their teachers and they all speak highly of your dedication. I wanted you to know that I will be recommending permanent custody at the 6-month hearing. You have proven me wrong. The girls are thriving. Respectfully, Counselor Thane. Tyler read the message 3 times. Then he smiled. They had done it. They had actually done it. At another trading station, Tyler met an old cargo hauler named Frank. They were loading supplies when Frank noticed the girls playing nearby. Those the alien kids everyone's been talking about? Frank asked. They're not alien kids, Tyler corrected gently. They're my kids. Mira and Senna. Right. Frank watched them. Must be hard though. Raising them alone out here. Different species and all. Tyler thought about that. It's not hard. It's just different. They teach me as much as I teach them. You ever regret it? Taking them in? Tyler looked at Mira showing Senna how to identify different types of cargo containers. He saw Senna's careful concentration and Mira's patient teaching. He thought about the empty, quiet ship he used to have. The lonely meals. The silent nights. Not for 1 second, Tyler said honestly. They're the best thing that ever happened to me. That night, after lessons and dinner and cleanup, Tyler tucked the girls into their bunks. This had become their routine. Story time before sleep. What story tonight? Tyler asked. Human or Thennari? Human, Mira said. The one about the princess and the dragon. Tyler settled into the chair between their bunks and started reading. His voice was gentle and steady. Senna's eyes drooped halfway through. By the end she was asleep, breathing softly. Mira was still awake, staring at the ceiling. Tyler, she whispered. Yeah. Do you think our parents would be happy? That we're with you? Tyler thought carefully about his answer. I think your parents loved you very much. And I think they would be happy that you're safe and loved and learning and growing. That's what parents want for their children. I still miss them, Mira said quietly. I know. That's okay. You can miss them and still be happy here. Both feelings can exist together. Mira was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Teacher Vess asked me where home is. I didn't know what to say. Is home Earth? Is home Thennari space? Is home this ship? What do you think home is? Tyler asked. Mira rolled over to look at him. Her large eyes were thoughtful in the dim light. I think home isn't a place. Home is the people who choose to stay. You chose to stay with us when you could have left. We chose to stay with you when we could have gone to the collective. So home is here. With you and Senna. That's home. Tyler felt his throat tighten with emotion. That's exactly right, Mira. Home is the people who choose to stay. Then we're home, Mira said, smiling. Finally home. She closed her eyes and curled up under her blanket. Within minutes she was asleep too. Tyler sat there for a while watching them sleep. These 2 small beings who had come into his life by chance. Who had changed everything. Who had taught him what family really meant. He thought about the hearing coming up in 3 months. About Thane's message. About permanent custody. About the future stretching ahead of them. There would be challenges. The girls would grow up. They would have questions about identity and belonging. They would struggle with being caught between 2 cultures. There would be hard days and complicated feelings. But they would face it together. As a family. Tyler stood up quietly and dimmed the lights. He paused at the door and looked back at the two sleeping girls. Mira had one arm hanging off the bunk. Senna was snoring softly, clutching her blanket. "Sleep well, girls," Tyler whispered. "You're safe. You're loved. You're home." He stepped into the corridor and closed the door softly behind him. Outside the ship's viewports, stars streaked past as they traveled to their next destination. Not just a cargo ship anymore. A home in motion. A family sailing through the vastness of space, carrying hope and love wherever they went. Tyler walked to the pilot's chair and checked their course. They would reach Talon Station in 4 days. Just in time for the Festival of Stars. Just in time for the girls to celebrate their heritage with others like them. Just in time for them to remember where they came from while embracing where they were going. He pulled up a photo on his console. The three of them together at the last station. Mira and Senna wearing traditional Thennari festival clothes. Tyler wearing a shirt the girls had picked out for him. All of them smiling. A family. Not by blood. Not by species. But by choice. By love. By the decision to stay when leaving would have been easier. Tyler saved the photo to send with his next progress report. Evidence of a promise kept. Evidence of a family built from nothing but kindness and determination. Evidence that sometimes home isn't where you start. It's where you choose to be. With the people who choose to be there with you. And for Tyler, Mira and Senna, that home was right here. Together. Among the stars.